Welcome everybody to the second annual Dairy Innovation Hub Dairy Summit. My name is Maria Walt and I serve as the program manager for the Dairy Innovation Hub. Today I'm going to be your MC. We have an exciting and packed schedule today. The Dairy Summit reflects research that has just been funded in the last few months. So today is all about our newest projects. For those of you who are going to be joining our event tomorrow, the first ever Dairy Symposium, tomorrow you're going to hear from our most advanced funded research. It's been going on the longest. So a few tips today to make the most of your experience. If you have any questions, enter them into the chat box that is just to the right of your media player. And there's a little bit of a delay, so if you have a question, make sure to type it in, right away. And we'll get to them at the end of each session. And if we don't get to any of those questions, we'll contact you after the event. So make sure you put your first and last name in there, and we have your email. And for our attendees that are logging on, you're in listen-only mode. So that means that we can't see or hear you. And you can pop in and out based on sessions that interest you the most, eat lunch, take breaks, and so on. Important information for the day is actually linked to your media player. So if you scroll down a little bit and you see Dairy Summit resources, a little hyperlink on your player, you can go ahead and click that, and that takes you to the Dairy Summit website where you're going to find detailed schedule, abstracts, speaker information. If you hear from anybody today that you want to contact after the meeting, their email is going to be listed there as well. One last reminder today, a brand new thing that we're really excited about is that there's a poster tab near the top of your media player. There's like a tab that says sessions and then a tab that says posters. So the posters are 30 research posters, roughly 30, that have been compiled by our longest running project. So do check those out at your leisure, either today or tomorrow. They'll be up for the duration of our events this week. Now that we've talked a little bit about housekeeping and logistics, without further delay, I am so excited to welcome our first speaker, Chancellor Rebecca Blank, from UW-Madison, who is our virtual host for today.
I want to thank the Dairy Innovation Hub and all of the organizers who put together what looks to be a great program. You're a diverse group. We have farmers, state and local policymakers, leaders from industry, and people from communities all over Wisconsin, not to mention our outstanding faculty and staff. You do very different work, but you share a commitment to making sure that our $46 billion Wisconsin dairy industry can grow and thrive. UW-Madison has worked hand in hand with dairy farmers since our earliest days, but until 2 years ago, we had no formal structure for sharing ideas and resources with other UW system campuses. The Dairy Innovation Hub is changing that, and we're really excited about some of the new work the Dairy Hub has made possible in partnership with UW-Platteville and UW-River Falls. You've probably heard of the Wisconsin Idea, which is UW's commitment to sharing knowledge beyond the boundaries of the university to benefit the entire state. It is difficult to imagine a more perfect example of the Wisconsin Idea than the Dairy Innovation Hub. I want to thank our collaborators, along with President Thompson and the UW system, members of the state legislature, and Governor Evers for making this work a top priority. The state is investing nearly $8 million a year in the hub, which will allow our 3 campuses to fund innovative research, recruit and retain top faculty, and expand our outreach programs. The Dairy Innovation Hub has already funded more than 100 projects on our 3 campuses and helped to attract some great new talent. You'll get a chance to hear from some of those faculty today and learn about cutting-edge research in a broad range of areas that affect the dairy industry, including animal science, agricultural engineering, nutritional science, and economic development, to name just a few. You'll also hear from farmers about some of the ways in which their work benefits from this research, and we're going to give you a virtual tour of our dairy research facilities that I think you'll find fascinating. I want to thank each of you for participating in today's summit and for all that you do to contribute to an industry that's a cornerstone of Wisconsin's economy. Thank you. To the Dairy Hub. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce Kate VandenBosch, Dean of the UW-Madison College of Agricultural and Life Sciences.
Thank you, Chancellor Blank, for those great introductory words, and here's to you. I am Dean Kate VandenBosch of the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences here at UW-Madison. I am delighted to be your host for this virtual conference today and to welcome your participation. As you know, the Dairy Innovation Hub was conceived to increase the capacity for dairy-related research and to secure Wisconsin's place at the forefront of the dairy industry. Bringing the hub to life has been one of the most exciting projects that I've been able to work on as dean. And even though we are just 2 years since the inception of the hub, we can already see the payoff of this wonderful investment. One way we are increasing capacity for research is by recruiting new talent. You'll have the opportunity to meet many of our first cohort of new faculty on the 3 campuses and to hear about the expertise that they bring to Wisconsin. Already, the research being undertaken is having an impact. You will hear about plans for new dairy foods, tools to support on-farm decisions, benefits to human health, and much more. And all of our campuses, all of our efforts are magnified by the communication among our 3 campuses. Our researchers have a larger network, and there are so many examples of joint ventures. The hub provides us the vehicle to stay in touch and to support each other's efforts. I want to thank everyone for participating today and to encourage our participants to stay on for the virtual farm tours that Chancellor Blank referred to at the end of the day. And also don't forget about tomorrow's symposium that will focus on our research advances. That's a hybrid event that you can attend either in person or virtually. So thank you for your interest in the Dairy Hub. Now, I'm pleased to turn the mic over to Dean Wayne Weber at UW-Platteville to add his words of welcome.
Thank you, Dean VandenBosch. As indicated, I'm Wayne Weber. I'm Dean of the College of Business, Industry, Life Science, and Agriculture at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. And I also want to welcome you. We're extremely excited about progress of the hub. And there's no question that a major part of that initial success has been collaboration. Dean Kate talked about communication. Relatedly, there's extensive collaboration with regional stakeholders throughout the state. And I think this is well portrayed through the Dairy Innovation Hub Advisory Council. It actually just met on Monday with stakeholder representatives from PDPW, DBA, DACCAP, Wisconsin Cheesemakers Association, Farm Bureau, along with input from many others. It's also well reflected by the significant engagement of our regional partners through advisory groups or informally, including farmers and local food processors. An excellent example is Chris Wilson, who will be on the farmer panel today. So Chris is an economic analyst for Babbler, but he's also a farmer and business and financial manager for his family farm, Wilson Organic Farms. His work and engagement with the Dairy Innovation Hub has led to his being recognized as a recipient of the Friend of the UW-Platteville Dairy Innovation Hub Award, and it exemplifies well the collaboration that we have with stakeholders throughout. You tie that in with the collaboration across the respective universities and between the 3 universities, and what you have is a foundational network for success. As Henry Ford stated, if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. So the Dairy Innovation Hub as a whole continues to make significant strides, and that's certainly true with the hub here at UW-Platteville. A lot of our success is tied to the extraordinary leadership of Dr. Tara Montgomery, who was our leader in dairy science and our hub liaison. And with that, when you look at the success, and this was talked about by Dean VandenBosch, part of the hub and a major part of the hub initiative is harnessing and leveraging top talent to help move the dairy industry forward. So we're extremely excited to have brought in 3 new faculty scientists here at UW-Platteville. Last year, we brought in Dr. Ryan Prawley, who's a dairy scientist with expertise in ruminant nutrition, and Dr. Joseph Sanford, who's an agriculture and biosystems engineer, and Dr. Sanford's expertise is in agricultural wastewater management. And this year, we hired Dr. Zafan Wan, who has a background and expertise in dairy food science and management. And you get to meet them today on the new faculty panel. We're also developing a framework around our 4th faculty position. And additionally, we recently hired a postdoc position, Dr. Risper Yairo, whose work is on the intersection of dairy farmland, water, and food for local communities, including the campus community. All this faculty work needs support staff, so we're also very excited to bring in a dairy research technician, Natalie Joseph. Outside of people, we've also been working on facility, equipment, and infrastructure upgrades through the Dairy Innovation Hub. And this includes at Pioneer Farm, the installation and implementation of 2 Lely A5 astronaut automated milking systems that are already operational. And part of the goal here is to develop a technology infrastructure, including robotics, to serve as a foundational point for hub research in that capacity. We've also installed 2 different betting systems for direct comparative research on animal health. We've also launched the 2nd year of funding of what we call Dairy Industry Impact and Innovation Grants, which are faculty research fellowships that include projects that are truly innovative, ranging anywhere from what we call dairy, which is data automation interface and real-time interaction, to the incorporation of biochar into manure systems for improving air quality and odor management. In conclusion, as you'll see here today and tomorrow, we're only in the 2nd full year of funding, but through collaboration and communication, we've made incredible strides to continue to position Wisconsin as a global leader for now and in the future. So next, it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Dr. Dale Gallenberg, who's Dean of the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences at UW River Falls. Dale?
Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate the introduction and listing out the college names. So now I can simply say welcome from cafes here at UW River Falls in what will soon be the Great White North. It's my pleasure to help welcome everyone formally to the summit today. As was mentioned, it's a packed and exciting agenda, and we look forward to your participation, your thoughts and comments as a follow-up. I also want to extend a thank you for the policymakers, the legislators, the supporters that we have out there that have provided this funding, and we hope to demonstrate to you the investment of that funding, and that indeed it has been and will continue to be an excellent investment in support of the Wisconsin dairy industry. Here at UW River Falls, we've spent the first 3 years, 2 years plus of the hub, continuing to build capacity, initiating new pieces that fit with the things that we're already doing that support the dairy industry. We've had 3 major areas of capacity building, or I'll summarize our work in 3 major areas. One is the hiring of new faculty positions that will certainly raise our research capacity as well as contribute to our instructional mission here at UW River Falls. Fortunately, throughout the summit and as part of tomorrow's symposium, participants will have the chance to meet these new faculty. Both Kate and Wayne have talked about the importance of bringing in top-notch talent, and we feel we're doing that with our hub hires. A second area is faculty research fellowships. Wayne mentioned this as well. particularly here at River Falls and at Platteville. This provides a vehicle for us to allow faculty who are already on staff the opportunity to build their own research capacity through either reassigned time during the academic year or in some cases providing summer salary to stimulate new research. So new faculty, current faculty, working together on projects in many cases. And then the third area I'd highlight is our equipment and renovation grants. New equipment, cutting edge equipment, renovations of lab spaces, research spaces, our laboratory farms, again, providing the capacity to allow us to continue the work that we're doing, but move into new areas as well. So we're quite pleased with the progress we're making, but we know we still have a ways to go. With respect to this capacity building, concentrating in all 4 areas of the hub. So we're not just spending all of the funds in 1 or 2 areas. We are truly addressing all 4 areas of the hub. My final comments to the hub in general, both Kate and Wayne have mentioned communication and collaboration. And across the hub, I think one of the real success stories already that we've demonstrated is increased collaboration. Certainly within our individual campuses, individual colleges, but more importantly across the hub in total and externally, as Wayne mentioned. We knew we could do this. We knew we were successful in collaboration in the past, but the hub has allowed us to take this to a new level entirely. And what's of benefit to the industry is the synergy and the leveraging of ideas, funding, and the many ways we can build on the initial investment that's being made. So we're not going to sit back and rest on our laurels, but to be sure, collaboration is one thing we've demonstrated that we can do well, and in fact we are doing well, and we'll continue to do so into the future. And again, the benefit to the industry is the investment that's being made is being multiplied many times over. With that, again, thank you to everyone for participating today. Look forward to your thoughts and comments on what we're doing, how we're doing, where we're headed. But I think you'll generally be quite pleased with what you hear today and tomorrow for those of you that are participating. With that, I think I turn it back over to Maria.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks so much, Dale. So we do have some time for Q&A. We're all so excited that we kind of rushed through and took a little bit shorter time than we had, which I suppose if I had to choose, it's better to be on time than running late. But we do have some time for Q&A, and it's good because we have some Q&A coming through. So this one, really to all 3 of the deans. You have each hired several new faculty who we're going to hear from later and you referenced. Can you speak to the caliber of candidates that you encountered during the hiring process and, what that was like and, kind of the commitment from your college?
I can jump in quickly, but I suspect Wayne and Kate will have things to say or maybe echo the comments. We've been quite pleased with the pools of candidates we've had for each of our hires. I suspect several of the new hires are listening in, and at the risk of giving any one of them a big head, we were successful in the pool of candidates and successful in our first choice hires. Now, a reason for that, quite frankly, is the funding that's available through the hub And for us, it's not just a position, but it's the background funding, the additional opportunities for collaboration and engagement that we provide. But a goal of the hub was to recruit top talent. We believe we're doing that and are more than pleased with the success so far.
Yeah, I would just echo Dale's comments and super pleased. And I think, you know, to plug later on today, we have the new faculty panel. I would encourage people to sit in on that, because then you're going to hear from those folks and just the incredible quality of the faculty scientists that we've been able to bring on. And then tomorrow, you're going to hear about some of the research and exciting activities that those folks have been involved in. But we couldn't be happier. The new faculty that have come in, they've just literally hit the ground running, and we're super excited.
Our faculty director, Heather White, is also on. Heather, did you want to comment at all about kind of the caliber of faculty and sort of what the process was like?
Yeah, thanks, Maria. Hi, everyone. As Maria said, I'm Heather White. I'm serving as the faculty director for the Dairy Innovation Hub. And hiring faculty across the campuses has been such a concerted effort and really a true pleasure. The process started with brainstorming sessions early on campuses with our advisory council and with other stakeholders to identify what the critical gaps were. Where do we need answers in dairy? And what are we lacking to get those answers? So is it a key researcher? Is it, you've heard about equipment, facilities? What were the gaps? And from that, we outlined the positions that we sought out first. The caliber of faculty across the campuses has been superb, as Dean Gallenberg indicated. And we've also seen these faculty come in just super excited to work together and to collaborate across their colleges and campuses, and across the 3 campuses, already working together with other faculty and with each other. So I'm really excited to moderate that panel for you later today and showcase some of what they're starting with.
I guess a follow-up to that would be, on all 3 campuses, we're seeing projects from folks that are not, in an animal science department or in a dairy science department. Can you speak at all to kind of the interest that has been drummed up on the campuses through the Dairy Innovation Hub from people who maybe wouldn't ordinarily be in that space?
I can start out on that because I have to step out to another commitment. But one of the things associated with that, I think I've heard Dale mention this, and certainly Tara Montgomery mentioned MooU, right? And part of that whole idea with MooU is that it's not just folks in agriculture, just the collaborative efforts. And on our campus, we've got folks from environmental engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. We've got folks from social sciences. We have people engaged just really throughout the entire campus, biology, involved in research that is helping propel the dairy industry forward. So to see everybody actively engaged in this whole MooU concept is really exciting and just fun. Yeah, it's fun to be a part of.
I would echo Wayne's comments. I would say here at River Falls, we're perhaps still scratching the surface on collaboration outside of the college across campus, but we've had conversations with chemistry, for example, on their fit in, and other departments, department chairs, and faculty as well. Within the college, it's just been tremendous. When the hub was set up, when the goals were outlined intentionally and internally, we knew what we were doing. And to say dairy broadly defined, we're sort of preaching to the choir. But when we look across the college, across our campus, it's quite frankly neat to see that folks are embracing the idea, okay, dairy is not just the 5-letter word that was somewhat restrictive or exclusive as in the past, that it's dairy broadly defined. And so quite frankly, it's maybe in some cases less about dairy science or animal science as it is about agronomy or egg engineering technology, about egg business, economics. So the embracement of a broad definition of dairy in terms of the Dairy Hub, it's been quite neat to see.
Heather, do you have anything to add to that? Or Dean Kate?
Maria, I was off the feed there for a minute, so if you can repeat the question, I'd be happy to add my 2 cents.
Of course. We were just talking a little bit about how the hub has welcomed people into the dairy space who maybe haven't, that's not their specialty, right? They haven't researched in that area before, and what that's like.
Well, we've definitely seen that happening here on the Madison campus. We've had people who haven't traditionally done dairy research applying for postdoctoral support or participating in some of the short-term high-impact projects or recruiting graduate students, forming new collaborations. So it's wonderful that they can bring their scientific or economic or other expertise to bear on the dairy questions of the day. So just another way that we're growing the community.
Great, thanks. I have one more question. I think we would be remiss to not mention something about what the last 2 years has meant, not only for society, but certainly for the research community. What was it like getting the hub up and running during a pandemic?
I can leap in there. It was daunting at first, I think, for all of us, whether we were teaching or doing research or going about professional activities. And then sort of awkward as we became more aware of video tools such as we're using today. But I've been so pleased that it hasn't held us back. We are exactly where we would hope we would have been in terms of hiring, launching new projects. And maybe because we've been separate more than we would have liked to have been, there's a real eagerness to be together in the collaborative spaces that we have. So I think in years from now, when we think back to the hub, we're going to think about the excitement of getting it off the ground and not how we were held back by the pandemic.
I would just add a comment to that last point. Wayne mentioned earlier, if you think about it, we're in the second year of full funding, third year of funding for the hub, and we can already say, look at what we've accomplished. The pandemic certainly added challenges, and to suggest we're not still dealing with some of those challenges would not be correct. But I think you could say, look at what we've accomplished in the hub in 2 or 3 short years. And oh, by the way, most of that time came during a pandemic, okay? I prefer to stop at look at what we've accomplished. Yes, we can justify the pandemic as presenting some challenges, maybe restricting progress in some sense, but I agree with Kate completely. We're not going to forget the pandemic, but when we look back a few years from now on the hub and its successes, one of those successes will be the degree to which we took off as quickly as we did and accomplished as much as we did in spite of pandemic.
Thanks, Dale. With that, I want to thank the deans and our faculty director, Heather White,